Chris with Unite.
And I'm Christy with Unite. And this week, Chris and I had an opportunity to sit down with our clients from Baldwin Wallace University and talk with them about their corporate engagement work there at Baldwin Wallace. So we will let Christy and Lacey share a little bit more about themselves, their university, as well as how they got started.
I'm Lacey Kogelnik, and I serve as the Executive Director of Corporate and Organizational Engagement with Baldwin Wallace University.
Awesome.
And I'm Christy Reklinski. I am the Program Assistant for the Center for Innovation and Growth, which Corporate and Organizational Engagement is housed within.
Great. So for those who aren't familiar with Baldwin Wallace, can you all share with us just a little bit about your university?
I would describe Baldwin Wallace as a small regional comprehensive university. As Chris said, we are located about 15 minutes from downtown Cleveland. And so we're perfectly positioned to be working with our external corporate partners here, right in our own community and within Cleveland as well.
Can you talk a little bit about how and why you all selected Unite?
Yeah, so let's start with the how, because as Christy said, we did a lot of benchmarking with aspirational institutions, and one of those institutions was the Ohio State University. And I reached out to the AVP there to have a conversation about corporate engagement. So in my conversation with the AVP, I specifically asked about Unite. What is Unite? Who are these people? What did they launch? Tell me about it. And I recall the feedback being, you need Unite. You need to call Chris and Christy, and they can help a university like yours, because what we were looking for was a process, a plan, help developing an infrastructure. And as you know, as this engagement has gone on, there's been a lot of consulting, right? Just like, I've got a question, we've never dealt with this before, you've probably experienced this, how can we help? So that was the how. And I do remember that early conversation that the four of us had. And certainly the process was what we needed. But we also felt like you were the right kind of people to work with. And that's critically important to BW. We're about relationships, not transactions. So we knew that we were interested in a partnership that with both of you, because you'd be in it with us and you have been. So that was sort of the how and why. And now fast forward, 8 months and here we are, down a path, not fully down the path, but we're down a path and making great progress together.
Awesome. Well, we have enjoyed it every step of the way.
Same. I would echo that too. It was just getting on the call with both of you initially and just realizing there was an ease about working with you and just your professionalism and just the connection that the four of us made. We just knew that we would work well together, and that was so refreshing. In addition to all the information that you gave us, there was a schedule involved, because bless me, when I see a schedule and that helps me wrap my head around how we're going to do this, I was so relieved.
And you were instrumental in that, Christy, in keeping us on track and moving the ball forward, and it was really fun. So
yes, everyone needs a Christy on their team.
Exactly.
Christy with a K.
Tell us a little bit about what was going on in Baldwin Wallace and the mission that you all were tasked with, and this job that you got tapped or raised your hand for, Lacey and Christy.
And so when we were thinking about the future of corporate engagement at BW, we decided to do some research of other institutions, aspirational institutions who were doing corporate engagement successfully, and take a look at those places as a benchmark for what we might be able to do as we begin to develop out our model. So that sort of happened at the end of last spring and into early fall. And then our office was launched in October officially.
Great. So kind of thinking back there, any pointers or tips or things that you would advise to someone who maybe is in that same spot you are or you were today?
Well, first, I would say we absolutely tapped other universities within the area and within our state who were already doing it a little bit prior to us, just to get them talking, find out what had worked for them and what wasn't working. And obviously that's how we connected with Unite, which Unite was very instrumental in helping us get our feet underneath us. So it was definitely reaching out to colleagues and other universities just to say, hey, we're getting this started too. Their insight was very important in saying a lot of us are just getting started doing this. And so we're all kind of in the same boat together, and they wanted to help us, and they wanted to get feedback from us once we got started too, how we could just work together and make it something that everybody was learning from each other in.
So as a quick recap, what we've learned also throughout our journey with universities is that corporate engagement a lot of times isn't new. There's always been companies interacting with academia and the higher ed institutions, but it's the holistic nature and the coordination of that holistic nature that is new. And that's where we help.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in our next video. But in the meantime, if you'd like to learn more about Unite, you can check out our website at www.unitecorporateengagement.com or reach out.